Hey y'all, this is Deep Track Zach. I am here today to make a video to talk about something, a genre of music that's near and dear to my heart, and about a subject that I've really been thinking about a lot in the last few years. And I think it's really time for the record industry to get busy on reissuing some of these titles. And it's from the genre of what I call the early 90's country gold rush. There are very few records that were pressed back then. And if you find them, they're really expensive. The prices keep getting higher and higher on them. I think more and more people my age and other people that are interested in this genre and this time period of music are really starting to look for these records on vinyl. And as you know, here's a stack, what I'm going to talk about, of some of the early 90's country music. Came out in the heyday of CD. Of course, I had records at the time, but I was really heavy into buying CDs. I mean, you couldn't even find records at a lot of the record stores and big box stores and stuff. But I've got about 10 CDs here I'm going to talk about. Actually, my younger brother talked about this very subject, I think, on a YouTube video about a year ago. If you didn't know, my brother also has a vinyl talk channel, a VC channel. His channel name is Next Play Records, Andy. He hadn't been making a whole lot of videos lately, but he talked about this about a year ago. I mean, we've talked about it a lot in the last several years. But something else, Vinyl Me Please, I don't know, 6 to 9 months ago, just started a country genre, which they're starting to release some stuff, and there's hope that some of these titles someday will be released. I mean, they release old stuff going way back, and they've released something. This is one of my favorite albums from the 90's. If you don't know, Vinyl Me Please is a record subscription club, and you can choose what genre you want. I think they have like a classics, which they do rock and soul and blues. There's an R&B genre, I think, and a hip hop and a country. And I got this several months back, issued on vinyl for the first time ever. That's Iris DeMent's. I think this was released in 92. Yeah, 1992. This year is the 30th anniversary of her incredible debut album. It's kind of a country folk album, Infamous Angel. So I applaud Vinyl Me Please for finding this great title to reissue, and I hope there's a lot more to come. And I'm going to show some of the albums that I hope they will reissue sometime, or some other record label possibly. I was really heavy into this type of music in the early 90's. I don't know if you go through my history of music, first things I listened to were my parents' records, classic rock and southern rock and stuff, some country. But, you know, in 1990 or so, when I got my first CD player, I bought some classic rock, but I was real heavy on the modern early 90's country. And I would love to see this album reissued on vinyl. This is one of the first ones I ever bought, I believe. It was released in 92, also 30 years ago. And that's John Anderson's Seminole Wind. What a great artist he was. Started in the real early 80's, started putting out hits, but I think he hit his peak in 1992 on this album. There's songs like Straight Tequila Night, Let Go of the Stone, Look Away, Cold Day in Hell, When It Comes to You, and the final track is the title track, Seminole Wind. That great song. I don't think you really need to enjoy the country genre to enjoy that song, Seminole Wind. It's about the Native American history down in Florida. But yeah, that would be a very cool album to see released on vinyl someday. John Anderson's Seminole Wind. All right, I'm doing these alphabetical, so it's not any particular rank order. But next up, I got Clint Black, No Time to Kill. And this one is from 1993. I think all these albums are from the time period of 1990 to 94 or 95. That's why I call it the early 90s country gold rush. I got that name from a radio program I used to listen here out of Atlanta called, what was it called? Friday Night Country Gold or something. So I don't know, someday I might do a podcast or a YouTube stream called the early 90s Country Gold Rush. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, back to Clint Black, I think, what is his best album from 1993, No Time to Kill. It has tracks on it like No Time to Kill, Thinking Again, Good Run of Bad Luck, and State of Mind. What a great song. Fourth track on here, State of Mind. That's another one of those songs that could kind of cross over if you're not really into country music. What a wonderful written song by Clint, and just awesome melody, awesome lyrics. State of Mind. Back to Back, Half the Man, that's another hit. I'll Take Texas. Tuckered Out, I think that might have been a minor hit, the last track. But yeah, Clint Black's 1993, No Time to Kill. Would love to see that on vinyl. Here's one that's a greatest hits, but I think this would be better than releasing one or two of her studio albums. But this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, female vocalists in the 90s, Suzy Bogguss, her greatest hits. What a beautiful voice and some beautiful music on this CD. I think this compilation came out in about 94. She had already made several albums by then. But it's got hits like Somewhere Between, Someday Soon, that awesome cover of the Ian Tyson song, Outbound Plane, Cross My Broken Heart, Letting Go, great song, Heartache, Drive South, Aces, Hopelessly Yours, and I Want to Be a Cowboy's Sweetheart, cover of that classic tune. But be a great record on vinyl. Suzy Bogguss, greatest hits. All right, next, we're still in the B's. This was a huge blockbuster album. Their debut, Brooks and Dunn, Brand New Man. Oh man, this was just packed with #1 hits or top 10 hits. Title track, Brand New Man. My Next Broken Heart, Neon Moon, Lost and Found, Boots, Scootin' Boogie, the notorious country club dance song, Still in Love with You. 1991 came out the year I graduated high school. This was early in my CD purchases also. It was probably in the, I don't know, the first 10 or 20 CDs I purchased. But I'd like to see that. All right, this next one, this kind of baffles me, but you know, Garth Brooks put out a big box set a couple of years ago. Sold a lot of them. I think there's still a lot out there, discounted prices. But he excluded 2 huge albums out of that box set, or somebody did. Maybe he doesn't have the rights that he needs, or I don't know. Haven't been able to get a good answer of why he didn't release it. And I thought he would have done a second box set by now. But this wonderful blockbuster, groundbreaking of an album, Ropin' the Wind from 1991, was not in that box set. It was released limited on vinyl in record clubs and stuff like that. This is one of the first CDs I purchased. It might have been I think the first thing I did was maybe join a CD club, but then the first time I went to a record store to buy CDs, I bought 3 albums, I think. This was one of them. Stevie Ray Vaughan, The Sky's Crying, and All My Brother's Greatest Hits or something. But what a huge, monumental album this was. It sold multi-millions of copies. And we've got to have it on vinyl. It's got Against the Grain, Rodeo, What She's Doing Now. I'm going to skip a few of these tracks. But Papa Loved Mama, Shameless, and Lonesome Dove, and The River. It's Garth Brooks. Third album, 1991's Rope in the Wind. Desperately, the world needs a reissue of this, y'all. Let's do it. Oh, here's another cool one. This is from, these dates are so small on here and I can't see as good as I used to, y'all. I think this is from 1990. Joe Diffie, 1,000 Winding Roads. It's a beautiful country album. That title comes from the lyrics of one of my favorite country songs of all time, which is the lead-off track, Home. It's got a few other hits. If the Devil Danced in Empty Pockets, New Way to Light Up an Old Flame, Almost Home, Stranger in Your Eyes. If somebody reissued that, they've got me as a customer. Joe Diffie, 1,000 Winding Roads. The late, great Joe Diffie. He was actually one of the first musicians that was victim to COVID. Him and John Prine. Sad to see him go that early. He was probably only his mid-60s, maybe late 60s. There you go. All right, this is another great one from a local boy here in Georgia, Noonan, Georgia. And that's Alan Jackson, Don't Rock the Jukebox. This is my favorite album of his. There's another one from 91, huge year in country music. And it's packed with great country songs. Like Don't Rock the Jukebox, That's All I Need to Know, Dallas, Midnight in Montgomery, a tribute to Hank Williams Sr. Love's Got a Hold on You, Someday, Walking the Floor Over Me, and Working Class Heroes, the last track. Not the John Lennon tune, it's a lot different than that one. But 1991, Don't Rock the Jukebox. What's cool about this was another one. It was issued on vinyl as a record club release. And I found one at a record show about a year and a half ago, I think. And got a steal of a deal on it. I don't think the guy realized he didn't have many early 90s country albums. This might have been the only one, but he didn't realize the value of it, I don't think. And I didn't really even know quite how much it was worth. I think I paid about $10. And this and a lot of other early 90s country records are getting up to around $100 value. I follow their auctions on eBay. It's unreal how high they can go. I think people in the music industry in Nashville maybe are buying them up or bidding on them. I've seen things go 100 and more, like Travis Tritt, Alan Jackson, George Strait, all those guys' albums. All right, this next one, I couldn't really quite pick a title for him. There's so many of them from the early 90s that you could release the whole album. I grabbed a couple of records, but George Strait, Holding My Own, from, I think there's another one in 92 on the 30th anniversary. Great album. It's got Holding My Own, the title track, Gone As a Girl Can Get, So Much Like My Dad, Trains Make Me Lonesome. Great songs. It's All Right With Me, Here We Go Again. I don't have to say much about George Strait. One of the best of all time. Had the most #1 hits of a country artist, I believe. But or they could just release this, latest, greatest, straightest hits. This could be a double album, maybe. It's just, I don't know if I'm gonna list them all. It just goes on and on. The Best Day, Murder on Music Row, Carrying Your Love With Me, Adelida, Lead On, Carried Away, Blue Clear Sky, I Can Still Make Cheyenne. Love that song. You Can't Make a Heart Love Somebody. Today My World Slipped Away. They have been releasing some compilations of George Strait. I've seen them at Walmart and online and stuff, but they could get a lot better. Release this. There you go. I want some George Strait, more George Strait on vinyl. Got his 80s stuff, but I need some 90s. All right, the next one. This is a little lesser known, but what a great album. Wow, I'm almost done here. I'm in the W's. And that would be Steve Wariner's Drive. This man, in my eyes, a little underappreciated. Great songwriter and a phenomenal guitarist, acoustic and electric guitarist. He had been in the game since the 80s, made albums all through the 80s, but I think he hit his stride on this one from 1993, Drive. It's not as strong as some of the albums I've shown here, but it's got some incredible songs like the title track, Drive, It Won't Be Over You, Driving and Crying. Great song. Check these out if you haven't ever listened to Drive on YouTube by Steve Wariner, Driving and Crying, and the last track, Sales. There's some great acoustic guitar picking in that one. Beautiful song. I would buy this in a heartbeat if somebody would reissue it. Steve Wariner's album, Sales, from 1993. That's coming up on the 30-year anniversary. And this one's probably the one I talk about the most with people when this subject comes up, me and my brothers. But it's the last alphabetically, and it's probably at the top of my list. Dwight Yoakam's This Time. This needs a reissue soon. A lot of people buy it. Dwight Yoakam crosses over, to people that like rock, rockabilly, country rock, and country. Everybody likes Dwight Yoakam. Almost everybody. My wife really loves Dwight Yoakam. But great album. Can't say enough about this one. What year was this? It's either 91 or 92. Where's the year? 93. So maybe it can be reissued for a 30th anniversary early next year. Come on, Vinyl Me, please. This is one for you. Just loaded with great tracks. Pocket of a Clown, title track. Well, no, it's This Time is the title, but 1,000 Miles from Nowhere. The title track, This Time. Two Doors Down, Ain't That Lonely Yet. Great song. King of Fools, Fast as You. That's more of a rock song than a country song. Try Not to Look So Pretty. That was a hit. Wild Ride, and the last track, Lonesome Roads. I remember 1,000 Miles from Nowhere being on a movie from the early 90s soundtrack. It's great. Red Rock West. That was a pretty good movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, this is at the top of my list. And if they reissued this one, this has a perfect design for a center label and inner gatefold there. But that could be on the label. Old clock. But like I said, this is near and dear to my heart. There's a big empty void of this genre of music that needs to be filled by some record companies out there and pressing plants. Let's get it done. You got me as a buyer, and I know lots of other people out there too. So thanks again for checking out my video, and everybody have a nice evening. It's about to get dark here in Georgia. Sun's gone down behind the trees, and everybody have a good week. See you next time. Bye-bye.